What's up, cyberspace cadets? Yes, right. It's Monday. It's Monday night. I'm Irate Prostate. I'm always irate, as you know. And it's time for Irate Mondays, where we look at the news, what the news forgot, and what the news decided they didn't want to show you. All right. And tonight, of course, I've got the usual suspects in the room with me, beginning with the lovely blind press.
Hi, everyone.
And Sir Adamantine.
Hi, everyone.
And my co-host, Vetran Mountainman.
Hey, everybody. Hope y'all are having a good night tonight.
Yeah. So, we're going to kick around and talk about some stuff tonight. How's everybody doing? Everybody have a good weekend?
Oh, yeah, man. I had a pretty good weekend. I'm feeling pretty good and recharged afterwards. How you doing about it, Blind?
My weekend was good. It was tiring because I had 2 sick kids, but other than that, it was a good weekend.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, they're okay. They're okay now. It's just a flu.
Well, I guess that's just a good signal. I guess we'll go ahead and just go open into the first segment, which we call the blind side, and I designed this so Blind Press could showcase something that she wanted to talk about since she's Canadian and stuff. So all the shit that we talk about doesn't always apply to her country-wise. And I love the way that the way she picks stuff to talk about and the way she talks about it. So without any further ado, take it away, darling.
So today I read a story on my coffee stream this morning. It's not Canadian, but it does really, really bother the hell out of me. And it was from CBS New York. It was saying that an international traveler came to visit Rockland County and in New York, and also they went to a county in New Jersey. I can't quite remember the name of the county off the top of my head. But they were traveling with the measles, and they visited. There's actually a list of several places that they visited. They visited like 2 churches, a gym, a health spa, and 2 walk-in clinics, I believe. Between the 4th and the 9th of October. So this person was like wandering around New York and New Jersey, infected with the measles for 5 days. And this story comes on the heels of a story I covered a couple of weeks ago that was saying that just in the first 6 months of 2018, the number of cases of measles in Europe has spiked to 41,000 just in the first 6 months of 2018.
I'm sorry, did you say in Europe?
Yeah.
I wonder where that came from.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's a complete mystery. Nobody knows.
What's the common denominator? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then they travel, right? They come to North America.
Whoops.
And they're bringing it with them.
Yeah.
And like this story is really close to my heart because I was exposed to the measles as a baby, and that's how I lost my sight. So when I hear stories like this, and I see people who decide to go traveling and they're sick with the measles, or when I read that cases of measles in Europe they doubled from last year and quadrupled from 2015-16. There was 5,000 cases in 2015-2016. It went up to 21,000 last year and 41,000 this year. And this year's not even over.
Wow.
Yeah, well, a lot of that also has to do with the sentiment against vaccination.
Yeah.
As well. This push against vaccination is just removing the herd immunity. Do you guys know what the herd immunity theory is?
Yes.
Okay,
I
great.
know if anyone else does.
Yeah, go ahead and verbalize it so everybody gets on the same page with it.
So the theory of herd immunity is if you have 92% of the population inoculated against a disease, then the small percentage of the population who can't tolerate the vaccine are also protected because there aren't a vector to infect them.
Right.
Yeah.
Because humans are the biggest vector for spreading disease amongst other humans.
Oh, absolutely.
And there are also the calls for, any type of disease proliferation.
Exactly.
In the reverse, if the reverse is the case. And it really sounded weird. All right, Press, you said that the places that the person went were like gyms and two clinics.
This guy took himself to two different walk-in clinics. And he also apparently the gym that he was working out at, the people at the gym said he was there for almost 4 hours. Just sweating and spewing measles germs everywhere. And he went to two different churches. So, nice big group of people.
This almost sounds intentional.
That's what I swear to God, I was thinking the same exact thing. Odd. Two of each. That's just, and those are high places of high concentrations of people. A church, a clinic, and then like a place to work out. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Those are areas where we're within close proximity to each other. And people don't realize just how easy it is to spread things in that close proximity.
Oh, God, especially on that fucking equipment, on gym equipment.
Yeah. Who wants to bet he's the guy, he's one of those guys that doesn't wipe the shit down when he's done?
Oh, I'd put a 50 on that.
Oh, I'd put a lot more than that. It's like, it sounds intentional almost. So, does it say where the guy was from?
No, of course not.
Of course not. Of course
they're not gonna. They don't want to spread racism and hatred.
Or xenophobia.
Meaning North Africa.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Maybe he is, in quotation marks, to mock the British. Maybe he is Asian.
Yes.
Yes, maybe he is Asian.
Yes.
I remember when I was a kid, and they went through this whole UNICEF thing with inoculations, and maybe in your lifetime we can wipe out this and that, and by the end of the 70s, pretty much it had all been wiped out.
Well, in North America, at least, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning. I'm sorry, I didn't specify, but yeah, pretty much in the U.S. And so it seemed like it went maybe probably 80s, 90s, so maybe 30 years without outbreaks like this, and then all of a sudden we increase our the population invasion that's the term I'm going to use because illegal immigrants are invading this country, as and then of course Europe is just like just come and fuck us up, come on,
please fuck over our countries.
Yeah.
Well, Poland is taking a stand, and Italy just announced that it's not taking any more migrants either.
Well, good for them, man. And Poland, they're waiting for NATO to just blow up on them, because I love their attitude and the way that NATO is, or not NATO, I'm sorry, the
EU.
The EU. I'm thinking.
I'm sorry. If any country has a right to be like, no, we're not letting any more people in, it's Poland.
No shit. You're absolutely right. And the Ukraine too. Yeah, both of those countries, man. They've been the doormat.
I think they've had enough.
Exactly. You know, Napoleon, Alexander. You know, it's like God. You just go back throughout time, and just everybody's used that as the main entrance into Asia.
Yep.
Just drive on through. And the way that
So that was the thing that pissed me off today. That was my that measles thing really just.
No, and I completely get it, Blind, because you're not wrong, and I mean you are. Don't take this personally, but you are kind of a living example as to why we need to have that herd immunity.
Yep.
And the idea that these people are idiotic enough to expose their children to a world without people being vaccinated and trying to claim that it's preventing autism when there is no proof of that. It just... It really chaffs me because they're running a risk that doesn't just affect them. It affects everybody around them too.
Well, and then these definitions of autism and ADHD, it almost seems like to me like there's like the cure has come before the cause, right? Where these conditions that are being diagnosed because there's a way to treat them pharmaceutically because they've been exposed to pharmaceutical reps that say, hey, blah, blah, blah. Because I remember back in the day, what a lot of people call ADHD or ADD, we called being a boy. Pretty much, or being a kid, So, I don't know. It's just that's giving me huge concern. And then the autism thing, it's like there's always been weird people.
That autism thing is so overdone.
Yeah,
especially on YouTube. We all know who the ones that we all know. We all know which ones really have autism and which ones just want to whine and pretend they do.
Right. Yeah, and you're talking about specific people that use autism as an excuse to fucking shit on people, right?
No. I mean, we all know. Like I said, pretty much the same circle of people, and we know certain people who they're definitely autistic. But then there's everyone else who just wants to whine about anything they possibly can, so they'll diagnose themselves with anything that will get them attention or a donation.
Yeah.
I like that caveat, or a donation. Pretty cool. Well, if y'all want to, I guess we can move on to the next thing that Vetran, you want to take this one and talk about?
Yeah, so this is something actually, guys, that the news isn't talking about, and I've got this from a news article from Medium on October the 13th. Apparently, Facebook, with their censorship that they just released, which has banned multiple liberal Facebook pages, and I use the term liberal in quotes here, what they really were progressive organizations. And their new massive purge is orientated specifically on political pages and personal accounts for inauthentic behavior. These are Facebook's words.
What is inauthentic behavior?
That's the great the word usage is ridiculously weird.
Yeah. And this new alternative algorithm set should be being deployed to Twitter as well.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that we could see yet again another round of mass loss of followers and everything else. Because I don't know about you guys, but about 6 months back when they deployed that new algorithm, I lost like 500 followers in a night.
Oh, damn.
No, I got them all back within like 2 weeks. But
that's still a lot of followers.
Well, I'm over 1,000 blind press, and I'm growing still. So
Mountainman's he's pimping, man. He's rolling. He's a man. You know?
But many of these accounts were associated with the anti-media, were the ones that were banned, even though they were progressive sites.
Surprise,
so they were actively opposing the standard mainstream media.
Right.
So it seems that we're in for another round of censorgeddon from Facebook and possibly Twitter.
You know, if I didn't have, like, family that I didn't live near, I would delete my Facebook.
Well, I pretty much had to delete mine, and Uzi did too, because of the just doxing shit that happened a couple of months ago. But, you know, I have, like, a couple of sock accounts that are open. I don't know if they were going to be closed because of, you know, being disingenuous or whatever the fuck they said. But I'm not. But I'm not. Those aren't political, pretty much. You know, they're just goofs, trolly. Well, I guess they are political. Well, now that I think about it,
if you're trolling, they'll see you rolling, and they're gonna mark you as inauthentic. Shit, I'm surprised I haven't been kicked off Twitter yet already, because I'm constantly clashing with commies.
yeah,
Because I follow Bernie Sanders, and I follow Cortez until she banned me. And I was following that. Yeah, she banned me. I was following a crazy progressive
but
socialist.
isn't there a precedent from Trump that that's not supposed to be legal for a public official to do?
Oh yeah, because I can file a lawsuit against her and try to force her to reinstate my account.
Make Ocasio-Cortez follow me again.
And there's that crazy ass liberal professor that won one of my Cultural Marxist of the Month's award. He banned me right after I published the video. So
is he the one that, like, wished what was it, that all white people would be a white genocide or some shit like that?
Yeah, he said all he wanted for Christmas was white genocide.
Oh, that asshole. Okay.
Yeah, I gave him a Cultural Marxist of the Month award, my highest honor, and he fucking banned me. Excuse me.
You figured out I'm an NPC. I gotta block you now.
What's up, Cass, man? Welcome.
Hey, Kaz, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Cas WarFox in the house.
What's up, faggots?
That's right.
Watch out, the memes just got danker.
Can't gauge emotional response. Must say we're drunk. Ha ha ha. I'm so funny.
So we also have this Antifa and Patriot prayer clash with batons, and you know, Newsweek called it pepper spray, but I've seen the footage. Those were bear spray canisters, people.
Oh wow!
All right, all right. Let everybody know what the difference is, because
I was just about to ask that.
yeah.
So pepper spray is about 3 inches in size. It usually has a push trigger that you can just depress with your finger, and it's designed to give a dosing to 1 to 3 individuals who are attacking you. Now, bear spray usually is more like a squirt gun and releases a fog. And imagine a canister about the size of the super heavy duty Raid.
Oh God.
That's about the size of the canister. And it's designed to deter grizzly bear and Eurasian bears and polar bears.
Lord.
Now, technically, the formulas are, for the most part, the same. The problem is the quantity. So when you're using bear spray on human targets, it's a lot harder for them to get that stuff off because it coats their entire body.
Good God.
Versus a normal pepper spray canister where you'll get them in the face.
Yeah.
Now, this actually turned pretty dadgum violent. I mean, there were multiple arrests. It says here that right and left-wing protesters brawled in the streets in Portland on Saturday during a law and order march by the conservative Patriot Prayer Group.
Didn't they throw, like, wasn't it a flash march? Because Every time they were planning them, you know, they were getting shut down because the Antifa people were like, you know, complaining, you know, filing complaints against them, so they couldn't march, and so they decided to throw like a flash mob type concept and do a flash march. And
well,
of course, go ahead.
The problem is Mayor Wheeler has refused to issue the Patriot Prayer Group any kind of protest permit.
How un-American.
Interesting.
Okay, so what they have finally gone to doing is they have gone to protesting in a federal park on the waterfront where they don't have to have a permit.
Oh, you don't need a permit to protest in a federal space?
Not from the mayor, no. You don't need one from the mayor.
Okay.
And so that means that they can't be denied their protest permit by the mayor, who has refused to issue one for them. Now, the mayor has also refused to prosecute any Antifa fuckers in Portland, excuse my language. So we kind of get an idea of where Mayor Wheeler's bread is buttered here. He supports the anti-fascists, also known as the fascists.
Yes.
But yes, batons, bear spray, and fists were used to attack each other. The police used riot gear and pepper ball pistols to disperse the crowd. Videos immediately went up on social media, and the clashes were reported on by the Portland Tribune. So you can get a lot more firsthand information at the Portland Tribune. Now, Saturday, the police issued a tweet, and I actually retweeted it, and I'm glad that Newsweek included this, that people in possession of hard-knuckled gloves, firearms, batons, and knives, as well as other offensive weapons, including pepper spray, would be prosecuted. However, I haven't seen any indictments coming forward yet.
Well, they were definitely arresting people.
They were. Now, the message for this event was to replace the Portland mayor.
Okay.
And the Proud Boys were also in attendance.
So there, all right. So there had to be when I was talking about the flash thing. It seemed like to me like they were were trying to figure out where the leaks were.
They were
in their system, right?
Yeah,
because that's what that's what it sounded like to me when they were talking about it. It seems like that if there's going to be, all right, everybody talking about a civil war, a cold civil war even, right? And it looks like that Portland is going to be Fort Sumter, all right? If anything's going to break out, it's going to be up there, man. Because these people, they're getting it looks like they're ramping up, and they're starting to get bigger and more organized on both sides, actually.
Well, to be fair, I don't know if you remember this, Irate, but George Bush and George W. Bush called Portland, Oregon, Little Beirut.
Oh,
Little Beirut. Well, that's an interesting words.
Yeah, publicly they called it Little Beirut, and there was a reason for that. In fact, I don't recall a time when Portland, Oregon hasn't protested a Republican president who has shown up.
It's amazing. Well, I guess it was the log industry, unions, maybe.
No, mostly what I see is the Enviro Nazis along with.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, dude, damn hippies have been ruining everything since the 60s.
Well,
you know, when they're spiking trees to kill people who are supposed to be logging them because the chainsaw bounces back, pouring sugar into tanks of cats and, you know, diesel engines and everything else. It's beyond what you think, Sir Adamantine. I mean, they got physically violent.
Well, no, I believe it. I mean, have you ever heard what I think about humanity in general? Please, I don't put anything past humans.
Well, yeah, like IEDs and shit, I've even heard of being used.
Oh, yeah.
You know, on some of those trails. Fucked up, man. You know, there's just not a lot to say about it. So, I guess we can expect more of this.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Because we've got, well, I guess the holiday, I guess the next big thing, I don't know, what will be the next celebration or what, maybe, what, New Year's, maybe? I don't know.
Well, no, maybe? There's going to be Hell Night out in Detroit, which will occur before Halloween.
Yeah, that's the night before Halloween, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but you're talking about Detroit. I mean, they could burn Detroit to the ground and it would look better than it did the day.
Shit, man.
Well, that's what Hell Night's all about, is burning Detroit to the effing ground, man.
Yeah, that's a Yankee thing, man. You know, because I got a friend that lives in Illinois and stuff. They do it in Chicago, and I mean, it's not just like, you know, it's been morphed into a violent thing. But it used to be just, you know, roll your neighbor's house. That was the night you rolled everybody's houses and shit, right? And then the next day you'd go over there and ask them for candy. Yeah. But the idea was, you know, people would have block parties and shit too, and you know, they would, you know, just you know, sit around and drink, and then the next night, you know, all the candy and drink some more. We don't do that a lot now, man. There's not a lot of like neighborhoods with a lot of kids especially where I'm at.
Well, out where I'm at, man, all of them go to the churches and do trunk or treats.
Yeah. The Baptist church has really screwed shit up down here. I mean, you know,
just in some perspective, in others they haven't so much. I mean, there is a lot of stuff going on that's changing it.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's like, oh, it's satanic, blah blah blah. You know, it's like, come on, man, just let my relative kids. You know, it's like their mom's like real religious and shit, and it's like, come on, just let them dress up like goblins and shit and crazy shit. No, that's of the devil. You know. That pisses me off.
Real quick question, because I keep seeing every time something like this happens, there's always people saying that there's a possibility of a civil war breaking out eventually, and I'd just like to ask, what's your opinion on that? If anyone's in here, like, do you honestly believe there's a possible civil war to brew out of this shit?
Oh, there is a possible civil war, man, but I don't think the leftists really understand what that will entail.
It's kind of hard to have a war when only one side has the guns.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, so many of them are disarmed to begin with that they will likely be executed by their own side that does have guns.
Right.
And those are the hardcore fanatics.
Exactly.
And most of them don't have the necessary skills and training to actually stand up to people like the veterans who've gone and fought wars and come back.
Right, and can keep a gun clean, and you know, and keep it firing. Right.
Yeah, and know how to handle ammunition effectively and build weaponry that will work correctly.
And know what happens when you get a jam and shit like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. And so there's a lot of tactics to it that these leftists are missing because they think it's all about, oh, I've got a gun, that means I can go kill them. Well, Yeah, but how often do you shoot? How often do you target practice? How familiar are you with it? How often do you take it apart and clean it and put it back together and check its functionings? Can you even take it apart? Do you know how to? A lot of people never answer these questions when they buy a firearm. They just buy it and think it's all good. It's not. It's actually far more temperamental than any vehicle you'll ever own. And if you don't keep it in perfect working order, it's not going to be there when you need it.
I view using a gun like you use a sword. There's the skill to it. There's a process to using it. And if you think you're going to win a fight by just taking a gun and shooting like an idiot, you have another thing coming.
Agreed.
Unless you have the fully automatic shotgun, in which case it's just point and shoot.
Yeah, but see, even that, like a rifle will work at a long distance, whereas a shotgun is only effective up to like what, about 50 feet.
Depends on the type of choke you've got in it.
That's true.
Because I mean, my turkey gun, I've got an extra full choke in it, and with a good load of shot, I can hit it 100 yards.
Oh wow! So that's that'll send some shot. Damn, man. And that's
But the problem is,
some feathers flying.
The problem is it doesn't spread out very much.
Yeah, there's a good point John Doe pointed out. Is if we were to argue a civil war, that would require states to back a particular side, and I don't see states wanting to sacrifice their economic prosperity on a war that's going to be more costly than beneficial.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course, and that's where the people are so fucking stupid. This little game of identity politics, man. I mean, it's literally like a game of chicken, right? Whereas each side is looking at the other, saying, "Okay, make your move," but and then there's like this little tit for tat shit that's going on up underneath it, right? I don't know, man. It pisses me off because it's unnecessary. This whole fucking identity politics thing was designed to divide the people.
It was.
Whereas the real problem, the real fucking enemy is the machine. The machine that wants to just keep everything like it is, so they can keep making their money and keep the people at bay, because it's what was the old saying? It's better to have a government that's afraid of the people than a people that's afraid of their government.
Generally,
generally. And I think that should still hold tight, man. At this point in the deal.
Yeah. So in short, what we're saying here is the people who are actually pushing for a civil war are just delusional idiots and psychopaths. They don't really understand that they're just going to get their asses whooped if the military has to get involved with their shenanigans. But
the deal is that the only kind of war that's really happening is an ideological war. If there is a Cold War that happens, or a war that happens, it's a Cold War that what we're experiencing. Right, a real civil war is, I would say, a high probability of not going to happen because of exactly everything we're talking about. Right.
Well, I do want to bring up something here. The people that are pushing for the Civil War, which are the progressive liberals, don't care if the states join them. In fact, what they want is they want to abolish all of the states and the United States and create a brand new North American socialist utopia.
And they'll get destroyed by that, because if they do initiate a civil war, then not get the support of the states, they'll eventually just get their asses handed to them by the U.S. military.
Agreed. Well, it probably actually won't even be the U.S. military. It'll probably actually be the National Guard of whatever state they start the insurrection in.
Yeah.
I know several of them think that they can use California as a bulwark and use the Sierra Nevada mountains as a shield against active duty military forces. But that's utter BS. I mean, I actually sat down and did a discussion on that, and responded to Elisa Clegg's video because she had found the article on it. And the guy who wrote the article is not a military tacticianist. He's not a historical military tacticianist. He's never fought a war. And he doesn't understand modern mechanized warfare.
Of course he doesn't.
Well, right. I mean, what are you going to... Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, it sounds like he's basing his Civil War plan off of reading Lord of the fucking Rings.
It really does. I mean, a striker vehicle could care less if you're on the other side of a mountain.
Oh, and then there's and then there you've got like F-18s, F-22s flying by, dropping bombs and shit. I mean, hello.
The Chinook and the Huey don't care that there's a mountain range there unless you've got anti-aircraft missiles that you can waste.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're going to land and drop a whole bunch of hard-assed infantry guys right in the middle of you who are going to be far more effective at taking you out than you are taking them out.
And the fucking, the military tends to lean right. Just because of the way that the fucking left has treated them ever since fucking Vietnam, or really before that.
Even before that.
Yeah.
Even before that. Yeah.
Which is funny because the Democratic Party has killed more people with war than any other than the Republican Party or the I don't know what the Whigs, I guess, before that.
Yeah, the Whigs before that.
Yeah. So. And if you do the body count, I mean, it's ridiculous. All the people, that died in World War I, World War II. I think World War I. Who was that? Who was the president? Wilson.
I think it was Wilson. Hang on, I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna look like an idiot because I should know this.
Yeah.
But dude, Roosevelt was definitely a Democrat, and then after that. There was
Woodrow Wilson was the
was
president during the beginning of the First World War.
Right, and we didn't. We waited to get in because it took the Lusitania to get us into that. Because they were. Go ahead.
To be fair, up until the sinking of the Lusitania, it really was a European war.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of survivors of the Civil War that were like, no, y'all don't want, See, that was a war that machine guns were first used. I mean, it was just it was just incredibly just horrible.
It was a destructive war.
Oh, Bubba.
Well, actually,
600,000 casualties.
Actually, Irate, the first time we saw what could be considered a modern machine gun style weapon was actually the pepper box percussion cap revolver, which would have been the War of 1812. But that was by sheer accident. Usually it would set off all 20 rounds in the pepper box.
Jesus.
When you fired your first shot. So it was a crapshoot. But that's why the Gatling gun became inspired.
Yeah.
We've got to fix this problem, somebody said.
No, it was more like, this is insanely destructive. How can we control it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you fired that pepper box, it was a 1 in 4 chance that it was just going to set everything off.
Yeah. Blow your hand off, man.
And possibly blow your hand off at the same time.
Oh,
yeah. So.
Now you're looking like a dumbass.
Yeah. I was just saying because I was originally bringing up the question because I see a lot of people from a bit from both sides of the aisle go on about a massive civil war and shit, and I'm just sitting here like, wait, it will probably be at most a skirmish before the military gets involved or the Coast Guard gets organized.
Now, see, here's something that I do want to bring up. The active duty military would not likely fight American citizens on American soil unless all-out warfare descended.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's entirely possible that we could have a civil war running for up to 6 months if the left could actually get organized and actually create some sort of real situation before that happened. But realistically, the likelihood that they could even stand a couple of real armed skirmishes with veterans and even some of the Proud Boys and some of the other conservative groups out there, including even the Pink Pistols.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you know the Pink Pistols, don't you, Cas?
I've heard of them.
Is that a gay thing or what?
Yeah, they're actually they are a gay rights group that supports the Second Amendment and secular conservatism. And their motto is, "We shoot back."
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, wait, I remember hearing something way back when from Milo about this.
If a civil war does indeed happen, I would even be surprised if Antifa and the liberals would actually somehow withstand militia forces that would also mobilize too.
Oh yeah. A lot of the militia forces, a lot of the conservative militias would probably end up mobilizing the second they went to the streets and start fighting back.
Yeah.
Hell, some of these crazy asses that are now joining Antifa are the children of some of the people that were rioting due to Rodney King and O.J. Simpson back in the 90s when those court cases happened.
Oh, Jesus.
And there were conservatives in L.A. that fended those people off with rifles.
You know, if you want to avoid situations like this from happening, there's a few simple things that could be done. And let me tell you one of them. It's going to sound off topic, but it relates. There should no longer be any student loans given out for anything other than hard sciences or distinct skills like engineering. None of this, and the reason I bring that up in this conversation is because you're allowing an entire generation of stupid kids. Which, you know, kids are stupid, but they grow up. You're allowing them like an extra 6 to 8 years of doing nothing but getting paid to be trouble.
Yep.
And so many of them will just be like, oh, I'll just use my student loans to buy this car. Or, oh, I'll just use my student loans to get this computer or this, like, TV. Or, oh, I just won't go to class because mommy and daddy are paying for my tuition and I've got student loans for my living expenses.
Yeah,
So,
and they go for worthless degrees, and then you have rocket scientists like mundane Matt publicly saying it's only $1 trillion in student loans. We should just forgive them all.
Yeah.
What?
yes, because that's how it totally works.
Yeah, he said that.
Oh God, Monday Matt, he really does not understand about economy, does he?
That was oddly enough, that was only a few paragraphs before or after he said he was fiscally conservative.
Oh,
Yeah, if he
not
wants-
physically conservative, my ass.
If you're fiscally conservative and you're preaching forgiveness of loans, which you
debt.
agreed to voluntarily, you signed an agreement to pay them back.
I'm gonna make an educated guess here. I'm thinking Mundane Fat may have some student loans.
I'm
Oh,
betting
for
he has
sure.
a lot of them.
I notice he says he's been to college, but I don't think he's ever been in a useful job with it. So
Of course
that's
not.
a sign.
Of course not.
Yeah.
He majored in fucking. He did like I did. He fucking majored in fine arts, like fucking theater or some shit like that.
that explains it.
Yeah.
Aye,
Fuck.
that explains it.
Oh, let the dreamers dream.
At least you figured it out, though, man. There's a lot of them that never do.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'll be honest with you, I don't regret dropping out of university when I did. You couldn't pay me to go back.
The only thing
It
that's
would,
worth
it
going
would
to
give me
university
content,
is
but
high demanding jobs. That's it. Like the only time you should ever go to university is you're doing a demanding job, and even then, trade schools are probably better for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, see,
maybe to get a master's for like a managerial type stuff. You know, if you're working in a corporation type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, part of the problem, Cas, is they did away with all of the science and technology universities.
Well, that's fucking great.
A lot of the science and technology universities from back in the 50s, 60s, and even early 70s have been done away with. And all they did was teach engineering, advanced applied mathematics, high-tech trades, that kind of stuff. If we started reallowing those kind of schools, you know, I think honestly our more traditional universities would have fewer students.
Yeah.
Which was part of the reason why they closed the science and technology schools and forced students to go to the standard universities.
You know, I agree with what Philip Daniels says. He says if you want to do something arts-related, get a law degree on a scholarship and leverage it into publishing and some related area like that.
Yeah.
That's a very logical path to you know, a viable artistic career, I believe, you know. So, thanks. See, we got.
Oh, you're not suggesting Mundane Matt isn't viable, are you?
But guys, the Soy Father is viable. He's going to be talking on Tucker Carlson pretty soon about Gamergate 2.0.
Yeah, what is that all about? Has anyone made the determination of whether he was serious with that or not?
Yeah, he's serious.
Yeah,
He's really living in a delusional world then.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like hey, watch this, man. You know, we get Trump to start talking about Gamergate, and we can all start making money off of YouTube again. Oh man, it's awesome. This is gonna be killer.
Well, maybe if Sargon actually interacted with his chat when he was on live streamings, then he would make some more money off of YouTube.
You mean instead of calling him a bunch of
Yeah.
Yeah, it is hilarious, by the way, when Medicare mocks him for the disparity in the number of people that watch their live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got 3 Sargons going. Oh, that's funny. It's good stuff. That's good stuff. Yeah. Well, you know, man, it's like I was talking to somebody. I think I was on Optic Case Friday, and I was saying, man, just look at yourself in the mirror and then say this term, social influencer. And if you can do that without laughing, then maybe, you know, you've been in this thing too long.
Yes.
You know?
I don't even get that term, social influencer. Influencer of what? Influencer of what?
That is a fart-sniffing kind of fucking term, isn't it, man?
Yes, exactly. It's like, oh, you're an influencer. You mean you sit on your ass all day reading fucking articles to everyone on the internet. You're a social influencer. You're changing the world with those articles, Matt. How can we live without you? Gamergate would be nothing.
Turn off that pesky ad block.
Turn off those pesky child plays. We gotta make it super serial.
Oh, man.
Have you known
That hair pig is real.
So, guys, I am reading a news article here that makes me never want to have Doritos again.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
San Bernardino deputies used Doritos to capture wild pig in California.
Well, that shouldn't make you not want to eat Doritos. I mean, you could be feeding the pig body parts; they'd still follow you.
Yeah, there's a Canadian serial killer. You could ask all about that.
Oh yes, I'm aware.
By the way, that scene in the movie Snatch, one of the greatest pieces of film ever.
As greedy as a pig. I love Smash so much.
Man, well, that brings us to Elizabeth Warren now, doesn't it?
Oh
Speaking of
gosh,
snatches,
Pocahontas.
Yes.
Give me more Gibbs.
So here's the deal, people. She obviously has made this issue about her Indian heritage at some point, and now she's denying it because she realizes how fucking racist that was. Okay, but just to prove, because Donald Trump said something about a bet that he would pay her some money or some shit if she could prove she had, you know, even a little bit of Indian in her. And so she had this this ancestry, not ancestry. She had a DNA test by that, you know, this PBS show that is the, oh my God, it's the moral faggiest shit I've ever seen.
Oh,
Yes.
I know the show you're talking about. I think, but I can't remember.
One of the movie stars like found out that his parents owned a slave ship or some shit like that, and it was like, oh my god, I can't believe.
Wasn't that Ben Affleck?
Yeah. Yes. That's exactly who it was, man. So yeah, it was the same people that did that, did her DNA, and the way that they worded it, it said they found 5 segments that were consistently in line with those of Native Americans. Okay, and somehow, and what are 5 segments of what? Are they talking